What's the most amazing thing about the universe? It must be true that either it didn't exist, then it did, or two, it has always existed. Matter, when subjected to enough energy and time, becomes sentient and ponders its own existence. That it created self-aware entities that think about it. That it doesn't exist to be observed. In fact, under different circumstances, all of its trillions of stars and planets and oceans and moons and mountains could exist for billions of years without ever being observed by anyone. Edit. Typo. How young it is. People look at the universe being 13.7 billion years old and say that is ancient. That is nothing. Stars will continue to form for another 100 trillion years. Even after that, stellar remnants will exist for quadrillions of years. Black holes will still produce energy that can be used by intelligent civilizations for 10,100 years. Keep in mind, if biological life doesn't destroy itself, we will just keep getting more and more knowledge. It's probably a safe bet that within 500 years, which is nothing on universal timescales, we will be an interstellar species that has long ago transcended biology. There is no telling what our descendants will do for the remaining life of the universe. The 4 to 5 billion years of biological evolution of life on Earth will be looked at as an embryonic stage for endless quintillions of years of real life to begin post-biology. They will view the universe as their oyster, a place of infinite possibilities, while we are still just spending our days trying not to die and trying to avoid being punished by our brains with pain. Its size compared to its speed limit. Edit. The visible universe is 98 billion light years across and only 13.8 billion years old. Nothing travels faster than the speed of light. It would take you longer than the universe has existed to reach most points in the visible universe, even if you could travel at near light speed. That's if the universe was static. It's not. The universe isn't only expanding, the rate of expansion is accelerating. The size of the greater universe is estimated to be 250 times larger than the visible universe and 7 trillion light years across. The overwhelming majority of the universe can never be seen because it's growing faster than light can travel across it. Eventually all of the visible universe will be so far away that its light will never reach us, and the visible universe will be limited to our local cluster of galaxies. Edit 2. To all the grammar Nazis I triggered, eat a bag of dicks. Edit 3. A lot of comments on how the expansion of the universe can be greater than the speed of light. The galaxies aren't speeding away from each other, the space between them is growing. Picture a balloon. Draw some dots on it, now blow it up. The dots are farther apart but the dots haven't moved, the space between them has expanded. Nothing has moved faster than the speed of light. Space has stretched. There is no center to the universe. Space is expanding outward from every point in the universe. Edit 4. How can the observable universe be bigger than twice its age? Expansion. We can look into the past and see the light from galaxies that have now expanded so far away that the light they are currently emitting will never reach us. Edit 5. How do we estimate the size of the greater universe, age and rate of expansion? Edit 6. How do we know light is the speed limit? Math. The faster you go, the heavier you get. Accelerating a single electron faster than the speed of light would require an infinite amount of energy. Some people have mentioned spooky action at a distance or quantum entanglement as information traveling faster than light. There are theories that address the problem, but that's way above my pay grade. Edit 7. What is the universe expanding into? Nothing. The universe, all that we know, is just getting bigger. Alternatively, we live in a multiverse, a cosmic soup with infinite big bangs occurring, creating infinite varying universes, like dough rising. And each air bubble is an expanding universe. Two possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe, or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. Arthur C. Clarke. That we just don't understand it. It could be flat. It could be irregular. There could be another one. It's growing at an exponential speed. It's invisible contents. We try to learn more about it using our earthly knowledge, but there is certainly more to it. It's like trying to wrap your head around eternity. Look again at that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor, and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Carl Sagan. That somehow all the particles accumulated in a specific way, and in specific quantities, to give you conscious thought. If you nut in space you move backwards. Hydrogen plus time equals people and planets. There is a theory which states that, if ever anyone discovers exactly what the universe is for, and why it is here, it will instantly disappear, and be replaced by something even more bizarre and inexplicable. There is another theory which states that this has already happened. Douglas Adams. Imagine being transported to a parallel universe that was almost identical to our own. Somewhere out in the vastness of that universe, there is a tiny planet. This much is true in both universes. On this planet, there is a beach, and on that beach, there is a small stone. Once again, both universes are alike in this regard. Beneath that stone, however, there are several million grains of sand, and while they all are in precisely the same location in each universe, one of them, a tiny speck of particularly clear quartz, hewn from a larger hole millions of years before, has a single atom that is positioned a fraction of a femtometer differently than its twin in the mirror dimension. You may think that such an insignificant difference would label these two universes as being functionally identical, and you would be right. In fact, they are so similar that the multiverse has long since combined them into one reality. That single atom and that tiny speck of sand on that lonesome beach on a distant planet merely occupies two spaces at once, seeming to an outside observer to vibrate back and forth at a predictable rate. That every atom in existence seems to do the same is probably a coincidence. TL. Doctor, everything is buzzing. It's indifferent to everything. That whatever our problems are, big or small, it won't matter in 1 million years, worst being a nuclear war or something. That it exists. It gave us magnets. How do those work? Whales are the biggest known creatures in the known universe. One of my favorite is about the number of unique orders for cards in a standard 52 card deck. I've seen a really good explanation of how big 52 actually is. Set a timer to count down 52 seconds. That's 8.0658 x 10.67 seconds. Stand on the equator and take a step forward every billion years. When you've circled the earth once, take a drop of water from the Pacific Ocean and keep going. When the Pacific Ocean is empty, lay a sheet of paper down, refill the ocean and carry on. When your stack of paper reaches the sun, take a look at the timer. The three leftmost digits won't have changed. 8.063 x 1067 seconds left to go. You have to repeat the whole process 1000 times to get 1/3 of the way through that time. 5.385 x 1067 seconds left to go. So to kill that time you try something else. Shuffle a deck of cards. Deal yourself 5 cards every billion years. Each time you get a royal flush, buy a lottery ticket. Each time that ticket wins the jackpot, throw a grain of sand in the Grand Canyon. When the Grand Canyon's full, take 1 ounce of rock off Mount Everest, empty the canyon and carry on. When Everest has been leveled, check the timer. There's barely any change. 5.364 x 10.67 seconds left. You'd have to repeat this process 256 times to have run out the timer. The fact that 95.6% of it is actually the imagination of Elian O'Rourke of Dorchester, who works as an accountant. This is one I thought about recently. I believe that Carl Sagan said that we, sentient entities, are a way for the cosmos to know itself. With this in mind, when we think about the end of our universe, whether it be through a big shrink, big cooling, or what have you, we get apprehensive. We probably will never see this end. Many of us will be dead. Yet, we still get a cold fear in our hearts. We are also a way for the cosmos to fear its demise. We are a long way off from truly understanding the origin and ending of the universe, but we have good theories and time will see that knowledge refined into fact. This is because we live at just the right time. Remember how galaxies are actually flying apart? This movement is also accelerating. galactic structures will fly apart faster and faster. They will eventually exceed the speed at which we could ever hope to travel. They may exceed or match the speed of light, but that means that light shining from these quickly receding galaxies will ever reach us, and no ship could ever catch up to them. They will not see cosmic background radiation, so you couldn't see them with any kind of telescope. You'd see stuff in your local group, and that's it. And you'd think that the universe is a foamy cluster of galaxies that has an ending. Future civilizations may never know the true nature of the universe and could think it finite.